Hello YouTube and welcome to a new GrunfWorks tutorial on the Mission Builder for Kerbal Space Program. In today's episode, I will be showing a brief tutorial on how to create a simple mission using the Mission Builder that is a part of the newly released Making History expansion DLC for the Kerbal Space Program. If you guys like it, this will be like a mini series where I will be taking on increasingly interesting and hopefully, difficult challenges of creating missions in the mission editor. But first, let us describe a little bit the user interface. Okay, so this, as you can see, what I'm dragging around is the plane where you're working, where basically you are supposed to be putting the nodes. And the mission consists from the series of nodes and events, what's going on. So we have a start node that will always be basically where you start. The moment when you press go, what happens? This on the left here, you have like different tabs of different nodes that you can add. So currency and score, you can add to change, adjust amount of funds, change the score, modify it, recover funds, test score, assign crew, spawn a Kerbal, check if their Kerbal has been rescued or recovered, if it went on an EVA, and all those you can actually drag and drop for various test purposes, as you can see. Landed vessel, I don't know, orbit, etc. So these you add to by dragging and dropping. The sequence of them you create by clicking on a node and then dragging it onto the second node. So that's just a little bit of how it looks and how it works. If you click them and press delete, you will be deleting the nodes. So these are the tabs. So going places, resources, checking for resource amounts, spawnable, what you can spawn. You can spawn asteroid, flag, Kerbal, even the launch site. So you want to spawn a launch site? No problem. Let's say spawn launch site, unnamed site, celestial body. You want to do it on Moho? No problem. Just rotate, click where you want to set it, and the new launch site will be spawned there. And you can actually spawn the vessel on that launch site. No problem. But that we will be covering in a more advanced tutorials. Today we will be focusing on a very simple mission, which will be a rescue mission. Probably you might have seen this, but I want to go from something simple and create something more interesting. Okay, so there are your undo, redo, maximize. These are your user interface controls. And here on the right hand side you have the various node settings that relate to this specific node, which we are currently have highlighted, for example like the start node. Right, so start node says, okay, mission start time 0, spawn a vessel, and here as you can see this feature means that it's docked. So these things will happen when these things are basically happen at the same time. So spawn a vessel at start. Right. So in our case, this will be a player controlled vessel. And we were going to keep it, name it unnamed vessel. That means it's player built. Player can choose if he's going to build it or not. Location, it will be using the launch site. And the facility where it will be building, it will use the VAB. However, to make things interesting, I was thinking, let's go and launch the vessel from a Boomerang launch site. And this is a new site in KSP 1.4 which has rather crazy inclinations. So player will have to combat also rather crazy inclinations from the start. So mission node, spawn vessel. What I want to do now is we'll go to the utility and we want to set the stage. We want to tell the player what's going on from the first moment he starts, or he or she starts. Right, so we're going to drag from mission time the dialog message. Dialog message are the ones that pop up when you're launching. You will see what I mean. We shall state the dialog message heading will be Rescue Bill. Message text. Bill has gotten himself stranded in orbit again. Please go grab him and return back to Kerbal. We're not going to specify where exactly, and the instructor avatar we will set Gene, because Gene is the mission guy who is supposed to do that. The text message will appear left of the screen, and we want to pause the mission until the dialogue is closed by the player. Now, in order to rescue Bill, we first have to spawn him. So we go to the Kerbal tab, and we will go to no, not the Kerbal tab, spawnable, sorry. Spawn Kerbal, we will dock this to the start node, so basically Bill will be spawned at the start. And let's see, spawn a Kerbal somewhere in the universe, perfect. Kerbal type crew, Kerbal, let's go with Bill Kerman. Location, orbit of Kerbal. And apoapsis 150,000 meters, so 150 kilometers periapsis. I think that's fine. We're going to leave that right where it is. And if you click those, then apoapsis and periapsis, you get a preview. So click on the Kerbal preview, mouse wheel, and you can see. So this is equatorial 150. So you might think it's a rather light mission. However, since we are launching from the Boomerang launch site, which is so high north, that means the player will actually need to launch, correct the inclination, meet up with Bill Kerman, and then return back. So although it seems rather simple, it is a little bit more challenging mission. So that's in terms of base parameters, if you see. However, to be able to rescue Bill, we have to make him stranded, because if you take a look here, Bill Kerman, stranded, no. Stranded, yes. Stranded means that it sets him in the stranded state, so that means that Bill cannot be controlled until he is rescued. Good. So we have start node, spawn vessel, spawn a Kerbal, and the dialog message, rescue Bill. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to test if the Kerbal has been rescued. And I'm going to change the color of this just to show you that it can actually mesh options. Let's put this red, because this is the danger node. Now, if you have to connect it, that this will happen after we go and get the mission, or basically after we click close, mission starts. So this is the next thing that will be checked. We will be checking if the Kerbal has been rescued. So node title, let's put rescue Bill. And the node title is important because it's going to show on your task list. Description, rescue Bill from Kerbal orbit. As simple as it. It is an objective because it has to be fulfilled. Mission message, no. Mission end, we just leave everything it is. And we say here, Kerbal rescued, no. These are specific parameters for this one. Kerbal type, crew. Yeah, Kerbal type is crew. Kerbal, Bill Kerman, we get to choose him because he has been stranded. And we want Kerbal must board the vessel. So, in theory, if you would want to end the mission here without returning him back, you could state that this is an end node, and that would be it. However, we said that we want to return back to Kerbal as well. So, I'm going to create another dialog message to inform the player that, you know, attaboy. So, we click here. Great. And this, we will put like this heading, return home, and the message will read, great. Now return back to Kerbal and land, capitals, safely. Because this will be one of the things that we'll be checking. So, also instructed by Gene Kerman, screen area to the left, we will not pause the mission. I mean, at this point, the person will be so high up that it doesn't really matter. So once we rescue, that's as simple as that. Return home. So the next thing that we will be checking, if the vessel, or hold on, location, if the vessel has landed. So you could add many more checks as to specific orbit and stuff, but like land, safe, land on Kerbal. So check if the vessel is landed. Land safely on Kerbal, or capital K, Kerbal. And this is an objective node. So that means the mission parameters will be checked. It's also an end node. Because if it happens, great, we are happy, all is great, and you know, everything is perfect with the world. So that basically is that in its core. So what we want to do now, we want to rename the mission Rescue Bill. Great. And let's run the validation. Here we can check at the report. No validation items to report, but that means everything is A-OK. Okay, so now the final thing to do is to go into the mission briefing, and as you can see, I have pre-filled this information. During his last experiment, Bill has managed to get himself stranded on Kerbal yet again. Your task is to build a vessel that will bring him back safely. And we can add some more information, like saying, since the KSP launch pad is being refurbished, or something, I don't know how to call it, renovated, this mission shall launch from Boomerang launch site. Okay, so here is basically where you set the stage. You check the objectives. One, rescue Bill, which is when you meet him, and second is land on Kerbal. Score, you may say, okay, for the completion bonus, we are gonna award 1300 points. I have no clue how much you should award here, so don't ask me that. Okay, so it's a completion bonus. And awards, we can give him a saint if all Kerbals survived, which is usually good. Now, you can change these banners as well. For example, you can select success banner, and there are a couple of them. I would imagine that you can actually configure your own success banners. So I would say basically something like this. Yay, you know, everything is great. And fail banner would be like, this is fail on launch or fail or something in space. Since this mission is in space, probably recalculating delta V. That might be handy, because a good possible failure would be that we have miscalculated the required delta V. Yeah, so we're gonna put it like that. And set OK. You could actually add some mods if you wanted to, but that's technically not necessary. So, right, so if we go, and if you want, you can go and test the mission. So, and you can create a craft. Now, for this test purposes, I'm gonna go with Mark II command pod, which is also a part of the, I think, Making History expansion. So let's put on something utility. Let's see, parachute, perfect. Then we want heat shield, and we need 1.875 because this is the new format or size. Then we want a decoupler. This is basically me just testing if the mission is, you know, working as intended. Decoupler, then I would want to put in a fuel tank, I'm just guessing here, so I'm thinking a fuel tank, something like that. If we want, we could do texture switch. No, I think this is good enough. Engines, let's see what engine shall we put here. I'm thinking Cheetah does look rather fancy now, doesn't it? Yeah, I think it looks good enough for a rescue rocket. Then we will look again at the decoupler. 1.8. Okay. We can do a rather simplistic vessel, so nothing really fancy. But 1, and then we put 2, then we could take some more powerful engine perhaps. This is 374 kilonewtons of thrust, 240 kilonewtons. Let's see, I'm just looking for, those are smaller ones. This is, oh, this one is too much, 12,000. So is this the most powerful? 374? I guess so. Well, we can do it. So we put it like that. So as you can see, a very, very simplistic rocket. And then we choose to put more decouplers. And let's put the radial decouplers. And we'll put like what, 4 of them. I think that would be fine. And let's see if we can get away with some SRBs. Engine cannot be shut down, 593. I think we could go with regular thumpers. So let's put something like that. 4 thumpers should suffice. And let's put, for aerodynamic reasons, let's put a nose cone. Nose cone. Advanced nose cone, and this would be typically Kerbal, but let's put them like this. Alright. So this part is more me just testing that the mission, I mean, is doable. Alright. There you go. I mean, it looks simple enough, I would say. So let's call it Rescue 1. And one specificum that we need to worry about is we only want 1 pilot because another one will be over there. And then when it comes to aerodynamics, a little bit more steering wouldn't go amiss. So I'm gonna be putting this 4 of them. And I think that should be enough. Whether or not that alone will be really enough, I have no idea. So it could be that I'm also creating a mission where I will essentially mess myself up. I have no knowledge. So, but then again, doesn't matter. And if we want, we could add actually launch clamps just to keep things nice and tightly organized for the launch. So yes. Okay, let's put it so it doesn't need to balance on everything. And those will fire after the SRBs. Okay. Save. Perfect. I hope it will be enough delta V. I have not tested this, so I wouldn't know. Launch. Let's start the mission now. Start our test run. We have created the vessel, so we have done what the player was supposed to do. And now let's start the test mission. As you can see, Jebediah is our pilot de jour, and the mission text, which we set in the mission editor, is showing here. Bill has gotten himself stranded in orbit again. Please go and grab and return him back to Kerbin. So we press the continue, and then the mission clock starts to tick. So we set the SAS on, and there is our boy Bill, poor boy, stuck in 150 kilometer orbit. Now we're in no immediate rush, so I'm gonna just wait until dawn comes, because it's nicer to launch these things during the day. So without further ado, 3, 2, 1, start the engines and launch. Perfect. Alright, we are off and running with some initial kick to speed. I start already tapping slowly for the gravity turn. I mean, our thumpers will only last us so much, so I think it's good that we set some initial, trajectory. And if you look at the objectives, here are some test settings. You have rescue Bill and land on Kerbal, and this is basically the mission parameters. So I'm gonna get back to my resources and stage, and there we go. We have successfully staged. And we are slightly decelerating. Okay, we are not decelerating. Good. I was already getting worried that I might have underestimated the thrust to weight for this particular rocket, but seems like that's not the case. We're still accelerating, which is very, very important. Now I'm just trying to correct our heading a little bit. So our apoapsis is climbing. That's the most important, 25 kilometers. There we go. Perfect. It is a little bit lower thrust to weight, but I think we'll manage to get in the orbit eventually anyway. And 39, yeah, I think we're good. T minus and it's growing, so I think we're good. I did underestimate a little bit thrust to weight here, but hey. Yeah, I think we'll be good. 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. I think I'm gonna burn it basically until 120-ish. Or maybe we can go directly for 150. I think it would even be easier then. Yeah, let's keep it at 150. Oh, 142. Well, perfect. I think that would basically put us around 150. There we go, 150. Apoapsis, add the maneuver. And we want our apoapsis new to be 150 as well. There we go. And that burn will require 968.7 meters per second. So it could happen that I have miscalculated, but that's the joy of the KSP. 1 minute 44 seconds. So that means half of that would be like 1 minute. So when we're close to 1 minute, I'm gonna hit the gas. Yeah, thereabout. And this is basically how you test, and here are the mission parameters, and here is basically messages if you want to show them. Rescue Bill and stuff. So this is how you do tests and how you basically create a mission. So 900 will, I'm just now monitoring at my liquid fuel gauge, how much will 900, if it drains more than half, then I might be in some serious trouble. I probably wouldn't have enough for the rendezvous, but which is also okay, because that means I have to replan and start over again. But that's the challenge that you would want your players who will be playing your mission to face. It's not the world's most powerful rocket, but it will do the job. Now, periapsis, come on. 146, apoapsis 74. Well, no, I'm not very proud of that one, but it will work for the time being until we correct the inclination. So, to fix the inclination, we shall need right about there. So how much is that? 1900, and oops, I don't know if we'll have enough fuel, guys. Oh, that would be awesome, GrunfWorks. You create the mission, then you goof it up on the test. But that's the joy of the KSP. We didn't set any parameters as how much we wanted the players to, you know. Let's accelerate and see, I mean, how it works. 2 minutes 35, that's half of that is 1 minute 18. 1 minute 18, so let's go and try that one. 1 minute and 25-ish. Let's kick the gas and see what happens. It's gonna be a longer burn, and there's a high likelihood that I'm gonna strand Jeb as well. Maybe, just maybe, we'll have just enough fuel to basically wing it, but if so, this will be a very exciting mission, to be honest. Just that you know, I didn't prepare this. I'm recording this live because, I mean, KSP is out. It's gonna be, those missions are gonna be available. So I think for you guys, you already know how to plan and do rescue missions. It's the mission builder that's new, so I wanted to show that part more. But guys, do let me know how much you liked the video, if you would want to see more content being added. This is just a very basic one. Later on we can add like stuff showing you guys how to do part failures or like fail condition. For example, like for me, fuel runs out. We could create that as a failure node and say, oh no, mission fail and stuff. So I want to expand based on from this example, and then we can let me know if you would like to see that in the future mission builder tutorials. So if that's something that sounds interesting, do let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button so I know that this is something that would be interesting for you guys, and yeah, more stuff will come, hopefully. Oh, this is gonna be a tight fit. Let's see how it looks. A very tight fit. Okay. How much gas do we have? Well, fumes, okay. But hey, we might just be able to pull this off. Descending out 3.5. Okay, let's see how much would it take to correct that one. And maneuver. Just 149, 0.3. It doesn't need to be perfect. 161. Well, we don't have nothing to lose anyway, so might as well. 7 seconds. Let's give it a run and kick it. Right. Now our periapsis is barely touching, so we want to do it like this. Add maneuver node. Oh, look at this. Interesting. Go, 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 go. Oh. And with a tiny burn, we could create a very near rendezvous, which I guess is doable. That would be very nice. Right, 10.1 meters per second for only... Let's give it a go. I'm willing to give it a go if you are, guys. So let's try it. 3 hours to burn. 10 meters per second. We have but fumes. But if we manage to rendezvous, I don't think we will be able to stop because of delta V. So I think we'll just whiz by. That's what I'm expecting will happen, but you never know. So coming closer to the estimated burn time. 20 minutes, 18, come on, 16, 15. I've done rescue missions, but I've never done them like this ad hoc, and it was much lower inclination. So for me, this is also new, guys. So bear with me. There we go. Okay, 20 seconds until the burn. I'm gonna do it gently. I don't want to make it too big of a burn of it. So let's see. 10, 9, 6, and there we go. 0.5, okay, 0.0. Perfect. And I think this is finally the node where we are gonna run out of steam, and that's it. And that's here, 0.6 kilometers. Add maneuver. Let's go and just quickly, oh, no. 1 minute to the burn. Holy crap. Now, target, orbit, target. I do want to decelerate relative to the target, and let's go right away because we have a lot of delta V to burn. I don't think I will have enough fuel for that, to be honest. You never know. Nah, no way in hell. Maybe if I go out and push. Well, at least... Yeah, see here, 450. Okay, guys, but never mind then. I will just go and I will basically return to the mission builder and the test. And yeah, so basically this is how you plan a mission, but not how you actually succeed a mission. So like if you like the tutorial, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and this is GrunfWorks signing off.